I call the honourable member for Isaacs.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to present to the House a petition from more than 600 members of the Chilean community in Australia and their supporters. It has been considered by the Petitions Committee and found to be in order. In the petition, the members of the Chilean community are urging the government to extradite Ms. Adriana Rivas to Chile to face criminal charges. The charges concern her alleged involvement in violent crimes committed by the intelligence services of the Pinochet military dictatorship. In March this year, the ABC's Foreign Correspondent program revealed that Ms. Rivas was living in Sydney's eastern suburbs and working as a nanny. She has been in Australia since 1978 and was arrested while on a trip back to Chile in 2006. This is a unique case in that extradition is sought after criminal proceedings were fully underway. Ms. Rivas fled Chile in 2010 while on bail. Awaiting trial, she is a fugitive from justice. It is alleged in the criminal proceedings in Chile that Ms. Rivas was involved in the interrogation and immensely cruel torture of at least 12 victims of the Pinochet regime by its secret police, the Dirección de Inteligencia Nacional, the DINA. It is alleged that Rivas was assistant to the head of the DINA, Manuel Contreras. A key prosecution witness told the ABC, and I quote, "When Rivas participated in the torture of the detainees, she beat them with sticks, she kicked them, punched them and also applied electricity to them." Though it is the policy of all Australian governments not to comment on extradition matters, it has been publicly reported that the Chilean Supreme Court made a formal request for Ms. Rivas's extradition earlier this year. I understand that this request has been received by the Attorney-General's Department and is under consideration by the Commonwealth Government. It is almost impossible to overstate the seriousness of the allegations made against Ms. Rivas. Torture is an abhorrent crime. The use of torture is not just an abuse by the state of its powers, it is a denial of the humanity of the victim. The special repugnance of torture is acknowledged by global civil society. The prohibition on torture is recognised as one of only a handful of fundamental principles of international law from which there are no exceptions, no exemptions and no derogations. Australia has a long tradition of work to rid our world of this terrible crime. Labor Foreign Minister and later Parliamentary Leader Doc Evatt helped draft the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. The Hawke government signed and ratified the Convention Against Torture in 1985 and 1989. Under the Labor government in May 2009, Australia signed the optional protocol to the Convention Against Torture. This is a legacy of which I am proud. I hope that the present government continues to work on the process of ratifying the optional protocol. Though we are lucky to live in a country free of torture, Chile has not been so fortunate. I have a close personal connection with Chile and its people. My wife was born in Chile. I have visited Chile several times and I lived there with my family in the first half of 1995. Some members of the Chilean community who have spoken to me about the extradition of Ms. Rivas are themselves survivors of torture or political violence. All Chileans will have friends or family who have suffered in some way. A number of members of the Australian-Chilean community are here in the gallery tonight, and I would like to acknowledge them and their concern about this issue. Before the 1970s, Chile had enjoyed political stability and parliamentary democracy since the late 19th century. The wounds the country suffered in the madness after the 1973 coup, however, are still not fully healed. The prosecution of torturers is an important part of the path forward for Chile. I call on the Australian government to hear the concerns of those who have signed this petition. I hope the government will move swiftly to ensure that justice is done by doing everything possible to return Adriana Rivas to Chile to face the trial from which she fled. I present the petition.